Oh, Jesus. Hi, hello. That voice back right when I did that was not planned. Hi. Good evening. I should... There we go. We know this song by now because it's the same song as in the first game. Hello. I hope the sound for this game is good. I tried to set it as the same settings, on the same settings as the first one, so I hope it's not too loud. Because in my ears it's pretty loud. But that's alright. Hello. We are here with a game that doesn't have a category on Twitch because Twitch for some reason decided, yeah, sure, the second one in a... What do you even call a game that encompasses 4 games? A game series. Well, whatever it is, they thought to themselves, yeah, episode 2 doesn't need a category, but we have one for episode 1, 3, 4, the Japanese only fan disc, and the complete edition, which at this point is also still very much Japanese only. That's cool. Lovely. Very lovely. There we go. Oh no. Sound stops playing as soon as I tab out. That's unfortunate. This game... Oh, wait. I think that's because I said it like this, yeah. Run by mute. Hehe, that's why. This game still has the same protagonist, obviously, but this time it stars Gretel and Kaguya. Thank you so much for the host, Rip. Thank you. I'm very interested in finding out what both of these are like because I will learn because I need to buy a happy. Ooh, yes. Get yourself a Happy Meal. Hell yeah. Because the few things I did look up for them are like Kaguya has like 14 bad endings. So I don't know what's going on with him. And Gretel apparently is also very interesting route from all I've seen. So I wonder if any of these are going to have like monologues to no end. I've seen a lot of jokes about Gretel being similar to a certain experience you get in Amnesia Memories, and everyone who's played Amnesia Memories at some point or knows about it is like, ah, yes, that scene. So I think I can guess where Gretel's voice is going, but hey, I will see. He has a new outfit in this one. He doesn't wear the same outfit as he did in Cinderella's route. So I'm guessing the entire setting is indeed different. But first, I think we actually have to read another prologue with, you know, the other Alice. Yeah. I wonder if it's the exact same one or if there are differences. We shall find out. Suddenly you find yourself lost in a world of darkness. Where am I? I keep walking and walking, but I can't seem to find a single exit. It's so dark I can see a thing. I can't even tell how far I've walked or how much time has passed. No matter where you go, the scenery around you remains static and unchanging. It's like the darkness has consumed everything, all sense of direction, even the very concept of time itself. Were you to stand perfectly still and hold your breath, the only sound would be that of your own heartbeat. What am I doing here? Who am I? You can't remember a thing, not even your own name. Well, that looks very suspiciously like... Wait. Is that prologue? Taisho, if Alice the same? It does have slight differences. Okay. Okay, it's not the exact same one. Okay, then we'll read it. Because if it's the exact same one, We know it already, but I guess apparently there are a few differences. I can't remember anything. Alone in the dark, fear and loneliness overwhelms you. Hello? Is anyone there? If you dare say something, please. No one's here. Was I always alone, or did I lose someone along the way? I don't know. I don't know anything. You soon grow tired of walking, but something spurs you forward in spite of yourself. Maybe I'll find something just up ahead. Your morale is in tatters and your legs are threatening to give out, but you press on regardless. What on earth? Out of nowhere, something seizes you by the leg, threatening to pull you down into its inky depths. No! You struggle with all your might, refusing to let the shadow swallow you up. With no way to tell left from right, you run blindly forward. And then, after an impalpable length of time, you meet a young man. Hey! We know you! A young man with golden blonde hair and pretty blue eyes. And his name is... I finally found you! Oh wow, he's even more rude than the last time. Ah! I fell flat on my face. Well, you weren't holding coffee, so your hands were indeed very much free to catch me. Ah yes, I see. I see he's still very much the same guy. We've come to know. I can't even say we've come to love because I don't love him yet. Maybe I will by the end of this, but... So who are you? What are you doing here? Do you know where we are? Okay, yeah, it is a little different. Tell me, what's your name? Yeesh! I don't know my own name. And you don't know your name either, do you? Oh, good point, sorry. The thing is, I don't remember what my name is or even what I'm doing here. Good evening! How are you? Most lucky, yes. I've been trying to remember, but for some reason I just can't. It's almost like I'm not myself. Everything's so fuzzy. That's all you have to say? Ichimillimicron, okay. A millimicron, so 1/1000th of a meter, like a nanometer. Ah. Alright, I wanted to know who you are and what your name is. So it's very much a different way of talking. I think I have a fucking mosquito bite on my foot, but he's still very much the same guy who is not nice to us. Well, yes, but look, I spent all the time wandering around in the dark, and now I finally found you. If I had to choose, I'd rather learn about you. You think so? Okay, this is the same. One corn dog shy of a picnic, because I have never heard that before in my life. Am I really that strange? Oh, I know. In that case, how about you choose a name for me? Are you though? Are you though? Didn't you have a bite last week as well? I mean, I have lots of mosquito bites, yeah. Mosquitoes really like my blood. Apparently. I don't know if there's any truth to that specific blood type thingy, but if there is, I'm guessing they really like 0. What is it? I forgot to look it up. 0 minus? 0 plus? Something 0. It's always me who gets stung. Like, no matter what we put up against mosquitoes No matter how many people we are, it's always me who gets stung. Everyone else is safe. They always flock to me. I hate it. You really love stroking your own ego, don't you? Okay, well, you said it's odd for me to ask a stranger's name when I don't even know my own. But I can't remember it, and you're the only other person here. And on top of that, you want me to introduce myself first. So if you choose my name for me, I'll have a name I can introduce myself with. It's like killing two birds with one stone. Aw, come on.
自分の期待に相手が応えなかったからといって非難するような反応をされるのが一番尺に触るんだ。
I'm not even getting mad at you. Okay, I'm sorry.
アリス。
は？
やれやれ。随分な間抜け面だな。せっかく人が名乗ってやったというのに。ちなみにアリスダ君などといったつまらんボケをかましたらぶん殴ってやるから覚悟しておけ。
Alice?
なんだアリス。
Wait, what?
鈍いな。君の名前に決まっているだろ。
We go about the naming thing a little differently this time, I see. So I'm Alice.
だからそう言ってるだろ。
And you're Alice.
そうだな。
Yay, twinsies!
頭のネジがかっ飛んだ緩い発言&反応をどうもありがとう。
Why do we have such similar names? Wait, do you know me?
知るわけないだろ。
Then how?
つまりはだ。僕も。
I was about to say, where's the rest of the voice line? I don't see the thing yet that I can keep clicking. You don't remember anything.
そうだ。君はここがどこなのか。どうしてここにいるのか。
But you sure love talking out of your ass, even though you don't remember anything either.
僕はわざと答えなかったわけではなく。答えられなかったから答えなかった。
You could have just said that.
まあ、それとは別に、君の態度が僕を苛立たせたという理由もあるにはあるのだ。
Imagine meeting someone like him in real life and he tells you to work on your manners, but you just look at him like, bro, are you kidding me? I think the person here who has to work on their manners is you.
僕は気づくとここにいた。気づくと記憶がなかった。特に支障はなかったので。
Kind of weird that we're both stuck in this weird shadow world. You know, we don't remember anything. Our names are really similar. For some reason. I still think we look very similar. But maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe Alice is indeed our name. And not his name. So all you remember is your name.
少し違うな。そもそもアリスという言葉が名前を示すものかどうか、その対象が僕であるのかすら疑う。
It has to be the name of someone who he's close to, or his own name. Like otherwise, why would he remember only the name Alice? Stop calling yourself alpha male! I swear to God! Like the noble family just looked down and you want you to back for. Yeah, that's exactly him. But that's all you remember, huh?
それ以外覚えていないわけだしな。第一、君がここに現れ、僕の名前を求めなければ、僕には名前など必要なかった。というわけだ。これだけ説明してやったんだ。これでなぜ自分がアリスなのか、そのパッパラパーでアーパーの頭でも少しは理解できただろう。
パッパラパー。パラパー the rapper. Maybe we knew each other before we lost our memories and there's a chance either Alice or Alice is actually my name?
そうだ。
You really think we knew each other?
僕が知るわけないだろ。
Right, silly me, you wouldn't remember. So, since we're not sure which one is which, I'll be Arisu and you'll be Alice. Okay then, nice to meet you, Alice.
何さらっと冒険の仲間になった的なセリフを吐いてる。
Ding ding ding! New party member! I don't know what that word means. What is that, 1/10 of a millimeter? That's a lot bigger than the millimicrons from earlier. Damn. I'm not smart. I don't know stuff like that. I don't know measurements. So what's your next move, Alice? Because the weird darkness tried to swallow me up earlier and I'm kind of scared.
まあ能天気な君のことだからここから出たいと思ってるんだろうが、無理無理やめとけ。どうせ僕たちはここから出られやしない。
You don't know that yet. What makes you assume that?
無理だからだ。論より証拠というがそんなものはない。強いて言えば第六感だろうな。君
Oh, excuse me. I suppose you're right. I do want to get out of here. I may not have my memories, but I can tell that I'm not meant to be here. I mean, where else would the darkness try to swallow me earlier?
闇か。
Yeah, before we met up, I was searching for an exit when it grabbed my leg out of nowhere. I thought it was going to swallow me up. Come to think of it.
なんだ。ようやく自分のバカさ加減に気がついたか。
How is it I'm able to see you so clearly when it's pitch black in here? Isn't that kind of strange?
一つ気づいたようだな。利口には程遠いが。
You literally called me smart like 5 voice lines ago when I knew what a flagellum was. Are you saying you already have it figured out?
当たり前だろ。僕を誰だと思っている。
Oh. An asshole! Oh!
よし、殴ろう。
Okay, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. You're a kind, sweet, caring person. So how does it work anyway? We're not glowing or anything, are we?
Wow! Thank you so much.
For the raid! Reading classes raid. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Welcome.
Long time no see.
Hi, welcome.
Let me.
I don't have mods, so I have to do this myself. But here's your shout out.
Everyone go check out Carl, who's
Was just playing Power Wash Simulator. How have you clapping chicks? God. Oh, you want a Pikachu? Of course, we have to show the raiders to Pikachu, don't we?
Pikachu. Pega pega. Pikachu.
So did you finish washing that shoe or did you just stop cleaning it? Because we are in the middle of getting to know Alice yet again, who is a very nice guy. You stopped, there was too much shoe. Ah. Yeah, I did. I tried to scroll through Better TTV in search of more, but there's so many things, I'm a bit lost. But the dancing... Oh, I forgot her name. What's her name? Cian. The dancing Cian is just too cute. She's from Show by Rock.
Oh, voice for 2 minutes. Okay, here we fucking go, boys. Yeah, okay, so until 20 almost. Oh, voice for 2 minutes. Cian is from Show by Rock, which is a Japanese exclusive mobile rhythm game. But I think they closed the original game and then they made a new one or something. But it got two seasons of an anime? Maybe 3 even, I don't know. Wow. The Uwu is going in different octaves tonight. And she's super cute. It's like if you want to watch a music band anime with cute animalistic characters, watch it. Because everyone is like, you know, the anime girl furry type. They all have cat ears or dog ears and stuff. It's very cute. And the music is great. And the second season has a all girls band that just goes batshit insane with metal. I love them. So if you are to whatever extent into music anime,
watch Show by Rock. I can vouch for the first 2 seasons because I've seen those as well. I can definitely recommend them. In this darkness, normally we'd only see each other's shadowy silhouettes, but to me you look the same as you would under ordinary daylight. Oh, I know. What about me? Can you see? Of course he can see you! No, I can't see you. I'm talking to the air.
それとも何か僕が霊感美少年で幽霊と話しているとでもそれとも僕が頭のかわいそうな人間で何もない宙に向かってブツブツ喋っているとでも
I think he is a very, you know, at least he knows he's good looking, I guess.
そんなことあるわけない
If he wasn't scowling all the time.
とは断言できないが僕の教授的な意味でも否定しておくちなみにエア友達という趣味もない
Haha. Imaginary friends, huh? Boy, do I have news for you.
だいたいそんなに気になるのなら自分で確かめてみればいいだろうその目は飾りか
You're right, I can't be a ghost. I have hands and feet and everything. Phew, that's a relief.
話がそれた先ほどの話題に戻るぞ君はここにいてはいけない
Yes.
なぜなら自分がこの暗闇に同化してしまうのではない
It
か
grabbed my leg and that was kinda scary because I don't know where I am. So, is that logical enough? You are back! Do you have a happy meal? Thank you so much for hydrate time. No, not really. It's just a gut feeling. The same way you know we're trapped.
君が言う闇がどんなものかわからないがファンタジー世界よろしく闇が君を襲ったというのなら僕はどうなる
Hello, good evening. How are you?
僕はずっとこの場に留まっているが君と違って何ともな
Well,
い
maybe the darkness likes you. Maybe it's your darkness. Did I say that the last time? As well, I think I did. I'm not sure I can. All I know is that there must be a reason to try to devour me, though I don't know if it was seeking me specifically or if it just happened to pass by or what. The only alternative I can think of is, what if the darkness wasn't attacking me, but rather my body was attempting to assimilate itself?
闇に取り込まれたらどうなる
I'm not sure. I think maybe it disappears, cease to exist, something like that.
そうかなら少し質問を変えよう君はなぜ自分が記憶喪失なのかわかるか
I don't know.
君は記憶を取り戻したいか
Preferably. Maybe? No, I definitely want my memory back.
君が君で
I'll write the current self thingy again. What do you mean?
君は今記憶を失っている今までどんな環境で育ってきたのか何を目標にしていたのか
You know, the one thing I would wish for is
い
like,
わば無の状態だ
if the game was programmed this way that they could read, oh, you have a save, a complete save of the first game already. Here's the differences between the first prologue and this one, so you can simply skip over the text you have already seen.
ちなみに人間としての人格
Because
形成
like
は遺伝の
half of
影
this
響も
we
多
have
少
seen,
はある
it's just a
環
different
境の
flavor
影響
now.
も大きいだろうつまり
I said thank you so much for the follow. What
今
them?
までの経験や
Hope you enjoy your
体験が
stay.
作り上げたものであるということだ
Yeah.
そしてその置かれていた環境が一変した状態が今の君だつまり君は本
I
質的
think
な
aside from the
君であっても
very scary
現象的
possibility
には
of it
今までの
happening,
君ではない
I think
記憶を取り
the
戻すという
experience
ことは
itself
眠っ
to,
てい
you
た
know,
もう一
lose
人
your
の自分を
memories
呼び覚ますということだ
would be interesting. It's like, what actually happens if you lose your memories? Like, how do you act? What part of you stays when you interact with people you know? Would they say you are different now? Like, what part does stay in your brain? You know, like the temporary amnesia thing.
君は自分が良き人間だった
Obviously, it's not good to lose your memories,
とんでもない
but
悪人だ
like,
ったという可能性は否定できないはずだなぜなら君には確固たる記憶がないんだからな
so you can, yeah.
君は記憶を取り戻すとしてそんな自分自身
Yes, I am.
罪を受け入れる覚悟はあるのか
Yeah, no matter what mistakes she made, no matter who she is, she's still me.
それは随分と 君がもしも今までの君を受け入れたとしても、今までの君が新しい君を受け入れるかどうかはわからない。君がこの先経験していくこと、肯定したもの、拒絶したもの、すべてを
Well, we cross that bridge when we come to it, right? I don't know. If she despises me, what does it mean for me?
自分自身の消失を意味するのだろう。つまりはどちらかが消える。
Hey, what's poppin'? Yo, how are you? So, no different from if I were assimilated into the darkness.
そうだ。
To be honest, this is all very complicated and don't quite get it. Me! Me! That's me! Anytime, ever, when someone says anything to me, it's like... But I can tell you're worried about me. Thank you. Huh? You're a sweet, kind-hearted person. I'm sure you don't want me to disappear. Think about it. Everything you just said makes it crystal clear you don't want to see me go. I hate watching you leave, but I love watching you go. Remember me, the guy with the big life person trying to recruit you or something? I do remember you, yes. Yes. It's been a while. How's it going? A dream? Is that even possible? Did I ever No, I did not.
僕に記憶はないが、それでも本能的に、本質的にこの世界は現実ではないということだ。
Good!
なら
Oh
この
god.
世界は何かと考えた際、一番現実的な答えが夢の
Why?
中だ。
Is everything alright?
君は闇に飲み込まれそうになったと言ったが、闇は闇だ。意志なんてあるわけがない。本当に闇に意志や目的があるとするならば、それは闇っぽい何かであって闇
I
では
mean...
ない。
if you ever want to tell me, I have DMs open. Feel free to
では、なぜ君は闇に襲
tell
われ
me.
たなどと妄言を吐いたのか。安心しろ。妄言とは言ったが、別に君が嘘をついたとは思ってはいない。僕はあくまでも現実的に、理論的に君の意見を否定しているに過ぎない。だがこれが夢だとしたら、すべてが肯定さ
Just
れ
move
る。
and sit down.
なぜならば夢だから。
They be
この
going.
世界が夢の中だと仮定すると正直何でもありだ。
But I do need glasses to read.
夢ならば闇っぽい何かに襲われようが、幽霊土の子ネッシーなどといったいわゆる創作上の生物に襲われようが何ら不思議ではない。現実も理論もクソくらいだ。
Imagine the entire Loch Ness monster actually coming to get you in your dreams.
以上、僕がこの世界が夢であると思うゆえんだ。
I'm a person that doesn't dream very often. If I do, it's all very weird stuff. But it's mostly like in always in the same kind of universe. Like they always continue. But then scenes switch during the same dream, and I wake up halfway through. And then every time I tell myself, you should write this down. Maybe it would make for fun stories, right? And then I never do. And I forget most of it. I just remember that weird feeling of I dreamt something that was weird. I don't know what it was, but it was weird. Meanwhile, a good friend of mine has dreamt, like, when we were still in school, had a dream once where like everyone who was in class with us showed up to an extent, and I was stuck in a chain link fence meowing at people. I'm just like, okay, sounds like something I do. Good dream. Meowing at people, yes. Like just if you walk by the fence, I just go meow. I don't know. But it sounds like something I do. I figured if I pinch my cheek, I'd know if it were a dream or not. Ow! That hurts, I think. If my cheeks were no longer attached to my body, I'd be scared. This habit of meowing out of nowhere. Oh! Oh, that's an interesting habit. Like, I definitely meow at the cats, and then they probably think to themselves, why the fuck, what the hell are you saying? He was a dude though, I mean, nothing wrong with that.
夢で色を認識しているのはなぜだ。時にはうまいものを食べて味や匂いといった感覚を夢の中で得たことはないか。
Sissy bug. I don't know where that Sosibaka thing is from. Don't shoot me. I don't know where that is from. I've seen it, and at this point, I'm too scared to ask. I've just accepted it. I don't know where it's from.
別にありえないことはない。それは僕が知っているからだ。
Same goes for the Among Us thing. I don't know where it's from. I think it's funny. You look at something that's vaguely a crewmate form and go Among Us. Some says naturally come for Genji. I mean, it has to have come from somewhere, right? I'm not a Gen Z, no. Damn. Well, it depends on who you ask. But I think I still count as a millennial. Maybe. I was born before 2000. Among Us! Yeah! Among Us! What? Say Pegasus, but replace the P with an M. Ah! Okay. Well, I mean, I think Among Us is fun. I haven't played it much, sadly. But I really want to try that proximity chat thing at one point. That always looks very fun.
こういう捉え方もできる。例えば、夢で落ちる夢を見たとしよう。衝撃で目覚めると、ベッドの上から落ちていた。
Oh, you know what's worse? When you dream that you're like falling and like your legs, your jacks, leg awake, your legs jerk. That's scary. I don't like that. Play Minecraft. Yeah, no, not really. Last time I actually played Minecraft was like way before all of these funky things were added. I did make a nice Minecraft skin for myself though, so I could play it on stream sometime, maybe. But I don't know what you do in Minecraft. There's so much. What's an SMP? I see. Survival multiplayer. Ooh. I just know one time I tried to hide myself under sand, not knowing that sand would continue to fall down and give you damage. So I died in the middle of a desert somewhere. So that was fun. If this is a dream, then why haven't I woken up?
Everyone knows it.
But Alice, you love hearing your own voice with how much you talk, right? You're the one who asked me if I had any questions. He looks even more exasperated this time around than the first time. So what's this game? This game is actually not what it says on the category. This is Taisho Exalis episode 2, because we just finished episode 1 on Sunday. And it's an Otome game, yes, and each episode features like two characters. And this is the second episode, and my whole existence. This is the prologue where it's like, okay, you're stuck in a weird world somewhere. You're stuck somewhere, you don't have any memories. This guy is also there, he doesn't have any memories either. And then you touch a weird glass shard and go to a different world. And try to date the guy there and find out something about how he has problems or something. We are pretty much a problem solver for hot dudes. From all I've seen so far, it's like, all of these people seem to have problems. Let's solve them by dating them. Maybe I went to sleep questioning my identity. Or maybe I wanted to forget. Is that why you're so convinced we can't escape? Well, we won't know for sure. But I am betting it's Alice's dream. I am very much betting it's Alice's dream. If we're dreaming about each other, then what relationship do we have in the waking world? I do though. So you're scared, huh? So you're down to stream some Minecraft sometime? I mean, sure. As soon as I figure out how you actually play Minecraft. I have the game installed though. Got you. It's easy and difficult. Great. Oh, sorry. Just a stray observation, but you seem like you're scared that you'll disappear too. Because you keep telling people stuff, and in the end it's not actually about me, but it's all about your fears. Hehehe. Supposing this is a dream, you and I still actively exist in it, or at least I have some sort of consciousness. Naturally, I'm terrified of losing our consciousness, and since you exist in here with me, I'm terrified of anything happening to you too. So I figure you probably feel the same way. What? Well, I would warn you. You're an ass, but I think we definitely know each other in the whatever the real world is, and I probably care about you quite a bit. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm talking about you. You're Alice and I'm Alice. We're connected. Is your keyboard a blue switch? What? What? No. I don't have a blue switch. Alright, let's see. I seem to recall we were debating whether or not this place is an exit. I can hear your keyboard. Oh, no, it's a Razer something. I have it listed down there because I can never remember. I think a Black Widow. A Black Widow. Don't ask me what exactly. But it lights up and it's pretty. It lights up and it's pretty, and that's all I care about. You still want to leave? There's a Big Widow analog. Ooh. I don't know what all these things do. I just know it can have pretty colors. And it was on sale when I got it. Yeah, dream or not, I want to get out of here. If this dream is a fragment of my memory, then surely the real me wants to wake up just as much as I do. Let me guess, yours is pink. No, it's black, but the colors I have on it are like this setting. I think it's called waves, where the keys just do like this wave pattern. I have that on. Black Widow as well. Ooh! Yeah! I love me some good keyboards.
正直動くのも面倒だ。こうして他人と話すのも嫌でしょうがない。君が自ら去ってくれるというのなら願ったり。
I still think it's weird that his vest has 3 sets of buttons. Won't you be scared all by yourself? Won't you miss me?
別に。
I'll miss you though.
言うと思った。どうせ君のことだから一緒に出口を探せとか、一
Version
人
story
より
screen
二
switch.
人の方が
Ooh.
心強いとか言うつもりだったのだろ。
その通り。
何がチェッチレイだ。日本人なら日本語を話せ。
Hey. Hey.
というか君も本当にこりな。
I am bilingual.
ある種の狂気であり
I will speak whatever damn language I want. Ah, there's the CG. Don't worry, no matter what happens, I won't let go. You're not alone, I'll always be with you.
Huh?
Give me your fucking hand, bro. We should hold hands, silly. That way we won't get separated.
君は能天気だな。犬猫だって現状に対してもっと悲観するぞ。
Sure, but feeling anxious wouldn't exactly improve anything now, would it?
くだらない。
Wish I could tell that to my anxiety.
余裕
Just stop feeling anxious. And yet I see you've decided to hold my hand anyway. Funny that.
拒否する理由が特に思いつかなかったからな。
Hand in hand, you wander through the darkness. Moments earlier, you were overwhelmed with fear, but now the warmth of his hand reassures you. Can I touch the glass now? Hehe.
君はこんな時でも楽しそうだな。
Of course I am. It's nice to have someone around to talk to.
ああ、そうそう、そうなんだ。僕はとっても優しくて面倒見が良くて困った人。
You know, if you ignore the way he's talking, he looks really nice right now. Now if only you could work on an attitude
う
problem.
るさい。振り払うぜ。
And so the friendly conversation continues. No ground to walk on, no concept of time, no one else in sight, and yet with Alice at your side, you don't miss any of it. You walk and walk and walk until there appears before you a giant looking glass. Whoa, what is that thing?
鏡だな。
Is it? I thought maybe it was a big crystal.
水晶だったらこんなにもはっきりと自分の姿が映らないだろ
You're right, I can see my face from every
う。
angle.
ああ、どこを向いて
えい
も愛しいことこの上ない。
Weird that it's so sparkly here in the dark. Is it glowing or is light shining onto it from somewhere?
それを言うなら僕たちの姿が見えているのも不自然だ。
This entire world is weird. Maybe it's bioluminescence, you know, like mushrooms.
せめて深海魚で例えるんだ。
Actually, what's closer to a human? A mushroom? Like by cells? If we go by the cells? What's closer to a human? The mushrooms? Or jellyfish? I think mushrooms are pretty scary. Like the organism-wise, they're pretty scary. What about a viperfish? I don't know what a viperfish is. I will not Google it. Oh no, maybe this is the exit.
入り口かもしれんぞ。
Shows green and some of American layout. Ah. What do you mean?
そうだ。物語にありがちだろ。鏡を通り抜けて別の世界にとかな。
Mm-hmm. What would the other world be like?
そっくり同じ。ただ何もかもが逆さまなんじゃないのか。
What do you think it's like back where we came from?
さあな。この世界が夢であり、かつ悪夢ならばいい世界だ。
Yeah, reality itself is a real nightmare. Blah, 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 blah.
急に黙ってどうしたの？怖くなったのか？
No, I want to touch. I wonder what would happen if you smashed it.
壊して僕に被害が及んでみる。その瞬間、僕は今度こそ君を全力で殴る。
God, I was just joking.
う
Relax.
さんくさい笑顔だ。
Maybe there's a reason this giant mirror is here. Maybe we can clear away the darkness by going to the world beyond.
ああ、君は本当に人の話を無視するのが得意だな。鏡を通り抜けること自体。
Well, we have repeatedly said that this seems to be a dream, so why not try it? Mr. Logic. But this is a dream, right?
可能だな。 明晰夢といってこれが夢だと自覚することによって夢の状況を自分の思い通りに変化させられるそう。
If so, I want to pass through the mirror to the other side. Just as you reach out to the mirror, suddenly radiates a blinding light. When the light fades, the mirror no longer reflects you, but two other figures. On the left is a man wearing a mask and a cheeky grin. On the right is a man with a smile as sweet as candy. Is it? Is it? Okay. Who are these men?
さあな。だがどちらも同じ世界観のようだな。
They seem familiar somehow.
奇遇だな。僕も。
Well, let's find out. You prod to the surface of the mirror with your finger and it ripples like water.
いけそうだ。
Sure does.
ちょっと待て。
What's up?
君はどうせ迷いなく堂々と向こう水に飛び込んでみるつもり
How's
だ。
the weather?
鏡の向こうがどこに繋がっているのかわからない
Flip
という。
floppy.
奇妙で奇特で無謀なやつだ。
It's like Monday and Tuesday you would sweat out of your skin and then suddenly the entire night it has been raining and I have been freezing the entire day. Because it's suddenly cold again. It's like one day like this, the other like this. Horrible. I had like 17 degrees Celsius today. I'm just like, yeah, that is very warm. Not. What makes you say that?
直感だ。僕の本能がそう告げている。しかし、誠に残念なことに、僕は今現在君に捕らえられている。
Yeah, boy, we're going to check it out.
君が僕の手を離さないというなら、まったく迷惑、甚だしい。旗迷惑だ。僕にとって君に出会ったことは不都合で迷惑で厄介な災害みたいなものだ。
If no one should utter for like 10 minutes, come now.
じっとして過ぎるのを待てばよいのだからな。
Okay, never mind. Looking at the time, we've known each other for more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes of strong rain. Oh. Yeah, when I woke up today, I woke up at 5 today and I couldn't fall back asleep and it was raining the entire time. Until I finally got up at like 7:30. And it was still raining. That bad, huh?
当然だ。どうせ何を言おうが、君にとってお構いなしなのだから。
Which is also why I'm tired. It's like even more tired than usual. You do plenty of shrugging yourself, buddy.
では、たまにはストレートに聞いてやろうじゃないか。君は
Which will you choose? That's a good question. We will choose the man with a smile as sweet as candy. Because I want to see his first. I choose this one. Together you and Alice reach out to the mirror. Then you walk through the glass and jump down into the looking glass vault. And then we should maybe get the opening song. Yeah, there it is. Is it still the same? Yeah, I think that's the exact same. No, never mind. It's the same song, but... But the characters are look a little different because this time we have two others in front. I'm still so surprised because this is this company's first game and the production quality is really good. Like, the art is great, the music, while a little repetitive, is good. The writing so far has been interesting. Like, there's definitely something deeper to the story. And they got some very great voice actors for it. Switch from hot to cold quick and now I'm sick at home. Aw, well, that's not nice. Also, I don't trust the cat. I love cats in real life, but for some reason cats in games seem to be evil more often than not. Oh my god, you are close. I don't trust Kaguya and I don't trust his cat. Ah, yes. So, backstory music. Let's start with the facts. My name is Yurika Arise and I'm 19 years old. Right now, it appears that I'm inside some sort of cabin in the woods. I say it appears because I don't actually remember how I got here. Oh, well, this is starting off great. I just woke up one day and found myself tied up here in this rustic log cabin. That said, it appears this place has a kitchen and a bathroom and all the other essentials, so if anything, it feels like a cabin-style studio apartment. Or maybe it's normal for cabins to have these things? I don't know. Anyway, why am I tied up, you ask? Well, here's the thing. I don't actually know. Just kidding. I think it's probably to prevent any escape attempts on my part, and seeing as I don't have the, skills necessary to tie myself up, it's safe to say someone else was behind it. Okay. When I first came to, I was completely taken aback. Anyone would be confused if they found themselves tied up on a bed, am I right? Especially if they were in a house they didn't recognize. Scary stuff, right? So naturally I freaked out. Luckily I wasn't gagged, so I was free to shout, "Mom, Dad, somebody save me," to my heart's content. But I quickly discovered that doing so was futile, and so I fell silent. Or maybe I was just in shock. How so, you ask? Because I was so overloaded with emotions that for a moment I forgot how to function. Have you seen My Roommate is a Cat? I have not seen the anime. I own the manga in Japanese up to volume 5 and in German up to volume 3? 4? I don't know how many of them out. I think 3. It's so cute. I like that cat. That cat I trust. It's really cute. I bought it when I was in Japan, and then like, you know, they announced it in German. Was just like, aside from I think 2 series that I have bought while I was in Japan, everything has been announced in at least English, if not even in German. So I just sit here like, why did I even buy them in Japanese if they're going to come out over here anyway? It's shocking enough to find oneself tied up, but with everything else on top of that, suffice it to say, it's enough to short-circuit your brain. Anyway, now you're all caught up. Uh-oh. I rolled to my side in the direction of the familiar voice. There I spotted a pair of crossed legs atop a chair. My gaze slowly shifted upward, taking in the rest of him. Long, slender legs, a handsome face, a presence that was mature beyond his years. I blinked again and again, wondering if maybe this was all just a dream, but it wasn't. Nee-san? Boy? I am an only child? I can definitely recommend the manga. I don't know if the anime did it as well, but the manga always had like one chapter from his point of view and then from Haru's point of view. It's really cute. Gretel, age 18, closed his book and offered me a radiant smile which was, in my opinion, unbefitting of my current predicament. Mango, Java, Bedrock. Java? Maybe? I don't know. Yes, he was my brother. Okay. Episodes and half. Ah. My younger brother. And he was also the mastermind who brought me here. Hi, Gretel. I hate to be a bother, but do you think maybe you could untie me now? I kept my tone polite and formal to avoid offending him. Well, the setting this world has thrown us in is certainly interesting. I won't, I swear. To you? To you, obviously. He shrugged off his own question before I could even answer it. One of these, then why bother asking me kind of moments. Yes?
丁寧な言葉を使わなくていいんですよ。というか、以前はそんな風に喋ってなかったじゃないですか。元に戻してください。
What changed is the question I should be asking you. You were never the kind of guy who would do this, were you? For some reason my head was throbbing and I couldn't quite remember. Is it really you, Gretel?
おかしなことを聞くんですね、姉さん。あなたの可愛い弟のグレーテルです。
Innocent my ass! What are you going to do to me?
どうもしませんよ。姉さんと二人、ここで暮らすんです。
Okay, then why am I tied up? No, I highly doubt.
いや、拒否するつもりですか？なら、どうしようかな。このまま姉さんをここに捨ておいて。
No, you misheard me. I said no, like the mask. Or maybe I said no. Yeah, that must be it. No. This was admittedly the worst, least plausible excuse.
嘘ですよ。僕が姉さんを一人置いていくわけないじゃないですか。まあ、留守番くらいはしててもらいますけど。
At this, my eyes widened.
もちろんその時は、ちゃんと姉さんが逃げないように。
Yeah, there's a weird bird, giant bird cage in the room.
安心してください。
Any reason for that? In an instant, my hopes were dashed and despair washed over me. I was tempted to ask him, "Are you out of your mind?" But given the current situation, it was clear the answer was yes, and I wasn't eager to provoke him. Why are you doing this?
どうしてって、そりゃ、姉さん自分からそう望んだんでしょ？
Me? No, I really don't think.
いや、また拒否ですか？
No, you misheard me. What I said was, I really daisuki. And this girl actually smiled and oh, well, that's a new, a new sprite at least. That's cute.
大切な弟ですか？
I'm a little uncomfortable with the whole situation though.
でも、姉さんは大切な姉さん。
Just a tad. And now he's back to his innocent baby brother stick. Okay, I'm officially confused now. If you really loved me, you'd untie me.
それはダメです。
Yeah, I figured. I let out a joy laugh. Gretel shook his head in disappointment.
姉さんは黙ってれば完璧なのにな。ま、色気もへったくれもない姉さんも姉さんらしくて僕は好きですけど。
What the fuck is with this rude? If I wasn't tied up, I would have kicked him in the shin for that. Okay, for now, can you just untie my legs?
嫌ですよ。ほどいたら蹴飛ばされそうですし。
Me, kick you. I was smiling, but I had a feeling he didn't buy it.
しょうがないですね。ま、自由に歩けた方が僕としても楽ですし、いいですよ。
Listen, I have seen lots of Otome games where at some point you end up locked in at some place. Most of the time because the character whose route you're on is like, oh, I'm the only one who can save you from whatever. So they go, to do that, I shall tie you up or put you in a cage or whatever. Yes, this has happened multiple times in different games, but this is the first game I have played where you start the route and you are immediately already tied up for unexplained reasons. Thank you, Gretel. He didn't really deserve my gratitude considering he was the one who tied me up in the first place, or whatever. I rolled over to point the knots in his direction. I was hoping maybe he'd untie my hands while he was back there, but unfortunately I wasn't that lucky. And with that he pulled the robe away. Thanks. I wiggled my newly freed legs, stretching my stiff muscles. Why, just as soon as you untie my hands, my good sir. Answered sarcastically in my most elegant voice. Ooh. Then out of the corner of my eye I saw him reach for my shoulder. Ah ha 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 ha. He rolled me onto my back and climbed on top of me. His weight pinned my thighs in place, preventing me from flailing around. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I could feel my chest heaving. What are you going to do to me? Eee. Okay, we should not get him angry, I think. But why? See? Protect from what? I don't listen. An Otome game where guy characters at some point like, oh, I'm going to protect you. I don't trust them. Like, what? Why? What do you have to protect me from that you have to lock me up somewhere? You call this safe? This. My body went limp in defeat. Okay, fine. I don't really get why this has to happen, but I'll take your word for it. You're my precious baby brother after all. What the fuck is going on? Satisfied, Great lopped off me and adjusted his shirt collar. Yes, please. Okay. I could see him in the kitchen prepping the food. I say you can protect herself good enough. Yeah, right? She's good. Similar to a studio apartment, there was only one main room in this cabin, so there were no walls between us. I could see him, and naturally he could see me. He would eat some eggs, milk, and veggies from the fridge, and a frying pan and a bowl from the cupboard. From that I surmised that he was probably making an omelette. So I decided to get up and walk around the cabin on my own 2 feet. Gretel didn't seem too concerned with my maneuvering, so I took that to mean I was free to do so. It made sense, I suppose. Thank you so much for the hybrid time. My hands were tied, literally, so there wasn't much I could do to try to escape. He wouldn't have freed my legs if he wasn't confident I would remain trapped. He had all his bases covered, and frankly I was impressed. I walked over to the window and gazed. We know the background, but the window is new. And gazed out at the scenery. We were surrounded by tall, dense trees. Evidently we were in a forest somewhere, and no amount of shouting would save me. Next, I stood in front of the door. This old portal to the outside world was locked up tight, and with my hands bound, I wouldn't be opening it anytime soon. Actually, it was possible I could make it work with a lot of effort on my part, but with Gretel here supervising me, I didn't stand a chance. Next, I walked over to the wood-burning stove. Whoa, don't see one of these every day. Honestly, these are great. In winter, they're so warm. We have one of those in the living room. It's so nice. It's so nice when it's cold out, and you can just put some wood in there, and it makes the whole room really warm. It's very nice. I'd heard these stoves were a hassle to work with, lots of careful ventilation and upkeep required. I peered through the little glass window at the dancing flames within. The crackle of the fireplace, the woody scent. Nice and eco-friendly. And so, after just a few steps around the cabin, I had now attained a deeper understanding of my circumstances. Long story short, I wasn't going to get a single whiff of fresh air without Gretel's explicit permission. Not to be a broken record, but again, this place was furnished like a studio apartment with a kitchen, a bathroom, a bed, and all the other amenities needed for one's daily life. It was clear Gretel wasn't kidding around. He was dead serious about the 2 of us living here. I looked at the giant bird cage sitting in the center of the room. It was nothing short of bizarre. Never in my life had I seen a birdcage large enough for a person to walk inside. One word came to mind. Prison. Why did Gretel bring me here against my will? To protect me? Was I under threat of attack? Was I under threat of attack from some external force and I just didn't realize it? Want some help? I called out to Gretel as he busied himself in the kitchen. Sure enough, he was making an omelette. Next to him was a jar full of little star candies in every color of the rainbow. He took a few and popped them into his mouth. As I stared at him, he eventually noticed my gaze. Yeah. Alright. It's one piece of candy! I didn't really have a comeback for that. It's one piece of... Wow. Okay. Not like I'd be of much help with my hands tied anyway. I walked over and sat in a chair positioned beside the cage. I cannot speak today. Yeah. Frankly, the mere sight of this giant thing was enough to clear my mood. I had a sinking feeling my dear brother would throw me into it the second I pissed him off. I am so deeply uncomfortable by the fact that, you know, from the last route where Gretel was Cinderella's little brother, that he's now calling us his big sister the entire time. It's weird. I mean, obviously, these are all separate routes, but still weird. Gretel walked over carrying a piping hot omelette on a plate. I'm not going to be able to eat that without my hands, you know. Oh, he's going to feed you. I knew it! It's kind of obvious. Oh, God. No! I opened my mouth and as promised, he fed me a spoonful of omelette. I nodded my mouth full of food. It's good. Oh, okay. He fed it all to me, one bite after another, so quickly that I scarcely had any time to savor it. Under any other circumstances, the spoon feeding might have been cute or romantic, but not like this. Wait, Gretel, that's enough. You can stop now. Very sure, I'm stuffed. It was great though. Thank you for making it. He lowered the spoon away from my lips and slid the bite of food into his own mouth instead. Oh, are we still a good cook on this one? You think so? You know I'm happy to cook for you anytime. He promptly ignored my suggestion. You did? Ooh. In all caps, macarons. Macarons, the king of all sweets, the pinnacle of confection. Yes. Oh God, if that's already a choice, I wonder what would happen if we say no to his desserts. Now I understood. My desires didn't matter, he didn't actually care. Gretel walked back to the fridge, opened it, and pulled out his chilled macarons. The colorful confections were neatly stacked inside a decorative cocktail glass for very classy effect. He took the pink one at the top of the stack and fed it to me. The chili meringue... Oh no, I never know how to pronounce this word. Meringue? Meringue? Hit my tongue, and as I bit down, I tasted the buttercream filling. Ooh, it's so good. Of course, your desserts are the best. And as I spoke, I thought back to the last time I said this exact same thing. Ah! Backstory. My name is Yurika Arise, and I'm 19 years old. I have a younger brother named Gretel. He has perfect grades, perfect manners, perfect looks. The very picture of an honor student. It's the fucking same CG, but just, you know, flipped. Slowly, soundlessly, I pushed the door open. Through the crack, I could see my brother sitting at his desk doing schoolwork. Holding my breath, I slipped inside and pounced him in from behind. Gretel! Gretel slumped forward under my weight, but quickly recovered and extricated himself from the arms I had wrapped around his neck. I can help you. I snatched a textbook off his desk. Wait, what the? I stared down at the page. These were advanced math formulas, definitely not something they thought at community college. Ooh. Shouldn't you be studying for entrance exams first? Alright, I guess you don't need to. If anything, entrance exams would be a step down from the level he was currently studying at. Oh, I can't wait for you to join me at college. Of course I am. I've been dreaming about this forever. We'd be attending the same school and we could eat lunch together if you wanted. Oh, and we could walk home together. This was true, of course. I went to Gretel's community college every single day and waited for him to come out. Then the two of us would walk home together. Okay. At first he was horrified to find me at the school, but over time he learned to tolerate it. But it'll be different once we're both going to the same school. I wonder where the change in attitude comes from then. No, I don't want to let go. I wrapped my arms around him in a big hug. He smacked my arm like he was tapping out. Oops, sorry. Lost control of my love for a minute there. I let go of him. He reached into a nearby jar of candy, pulled out a red one and popped it into his mouth. Oh, that reminds me. What do you want for dinner tonight? Anything in particular? I want to treat my hard worker to something nice. You sure? If you tell me I can make anything, I'm gonna make whatever I want. Don't say that. Now I'm obligated to make something really good. He smiled slightly. Then our eyes met and I instantly became conscious of how close our faces were. I stepped away from him, clasped my hands behind my back and leaned forward. Well then, guess I'll get started on dinner. I come get you when it's ready, okay? He waved me away without even looking at me. Now then. I left his room and headed down to the kitchen on the first floor. Each step made the hardwood floor creak, reminding me of the house's deteriorating condition. No surprise there, of course. This building was constructed long before I was born. It wasn't your ordinary house either. Originally, it was built as a cafe. But at some point, someone remodeled it into a house. You often hear about people adding a storefront to their house, but seldom the other way around. That said, the cafe area was still fully intact, so there wasn't much remodeling done at all. Even the cupboards were still the same, although we'd obviously bought new silverware. The living quarters were located on the second floor. At one point, they were rented out as apartments, but now it was the Arisu family residence. All in all, this retro cafe had quite the history. Why did we live here, you ask? Well, my family jumped on the cafe bandwagon back when they were all the rage, but changing trends eventually forced them to close down. Just kidding, it's actually more complicated than that. The truth is, my parents were just a couple of weirdos with eclectic tastes. They found a retro cafe in a scenic little backwater town and decided to buy it. Okay. There was no hard work put into it. It wasn't a lifelong dream. They simply had too much money on their hands. Give it to me then. But seeing as that excess money now afforded me a roof over my head, I was at least a little bit grateful. My parents had their own place in the city where they worked, and they rarely came out to see us. So for the most part, Gretel and I was essentially on our own. A good friend of mine once teased me for having a house as weird as the family that lives in it. Frankly, I couldn't agree more. It's just all of the CGs flipped. Why? In the kitchen, I opened the fridge and took out some eggs and veggies. Tonight's dinner, omelette. Why omelettes, you ask? Because I wanted to get back at Gretel for forcing me to make something good. My plan was to make a really decadent sauce to drizzle on top. That way it would seem fancier than it was. I pulled out a chocolate bar tucked away in the back corner of the fridge. Would he get mad at me if I used this? I figured chocolate sauce would pair with eggs really nicely, but I wasn't sure. Ooh. Would it? The fridge was home to all kinds of chocolate, from ordinary candy bars to fancy truffles in their own little box. All of it belonged to Gretel. Believe it or not, he had a massive sweet tooth. He was a total nerd for all things sugary. He was always up to date on the latest products from his favorite stores, and whenever a new one opened up, he was among the first to try them. Whenever a given dessert went viral online, he would either visit the store in person or have it shipped to our house. He was so obsessed with chocolate, he put middle-aged women to shame. After long internal debate, I put the chocolate back. If I used it without asking, Gretel was guaranteed to be furious with me, no doubt about it. One time, when I was desperately craving sweets, I ate a cream puff I found in the fridge. The result? Oh, a bag... But, flashback in a flashback. Huh? Oh yeah, sorry, it was in the fridge, so I figured... I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, okay? I'll buy you another one. He's going on.
ないええあなたの胃袋にダイブしたんですからねもうシュークリームは二度と帰ってこないんですよ
Okay, I'm sorry. In the end, I finally won his forgiveness by buying him a box of award-winning truffles from some famous patissier. Total price $75. He was generally a pretty laid-back guy, but when it came to sweets, all bets were off. In his head, sweets... me. Thus I gave up on a chocolate sauce idea, probably better not to have chocolate for dinner anyway, and decided to go with something more healthy that wouldn't clash with dessert. So I put the chocolate back and took out the spinach instead. Then I got to work. Oh hey, what happened to studying? As I blended my boiled spinach into a paste in a food processor and cracked some eggs into a bowl, Gretel walked in. Oh, so it's my fault, huh? I hung my head guiltily. Oh. Gretel looked at the ingredients I had lined up on the counter. Spinach omelette. Spinach. Is it spinach or spinach? I don't... To be precise, you need to eat your veggies. I've got this. You go entertain yourself for a while. Oh, that's entertaining. As he spoke, he took a seat at the dining table. You're just going to watch me. That's it? Gretel cupped his chin in his hands and smiled defiantly at me. Pouting my lips, I ignored him and set about scrambling my eggs with a whisk. Little punk. I added the spinach paste into a bowl with the freshly beaten eggs. In a blink, the mixture's color changed from kiro to midori. Why are you saying that in Japanese? Then, while I was distracted with other prep work... What? I noticed Gretel had grabbed the fancy truffles from the fridge and was now eating them. You're eating more candy? Here I'm making dinner for my precious baby brother and you're spoiling your appetite. Disrespectful, don't you think? But despite my annoyed scold, Gretel didn't much care. Meanwhile, he carried on eating his truffles like they weren't $5 a pop. Just decent? They're decorated like precious gems. As I stared at him, he offered me a half smirk. Yeah. Please, Master Gretel, bestow your blessings upon my sorry soul. I clasped my hands melodramatically. He held up one of the truffles between his thumb and forefinger and offered it to me. I opened my mouth and caught it on my tongue. It's good. These were worth every penny. Not only were they pretty to look at, but the chocolate was rich and melted in my mouth. Then let's see it. Not only was the Prince of Sweets obsessed with eating them, he was passionate about making them too. And he was extremely talented at it. Don't touch your face. Oh no! Good evening! How about after I finish up? Then I better finish up quick. I started working even more swiftly than before. Funny how it's easier to focus on work when there's a reward close at hand. And so I dished up dinner in a flash. Green eggs. Pretty, isn't it? The omelettes were deep green in color. Under them was bright red tomato sauce. Quite a striking contrast if I do say so myself. He took a bite of his green omelette and felt quiet. How is it? Unable to endure the silence, I asked his opinion. I wish I liked eggs. You can make so much food with just eggs. More delicious than chocolate from a famous chocolatier. Oh. Ouch. I already knew my brother was a monster, but damn. He snickered at my utter defeat. I want to make some strawberry cake again, but I don't actually want to go buy strawberries unless I absolutely need to, you know, walk into a discount or anywhere where I can get strawberries. But I would love some strawberry cake. You think so? I tried to act on desk, but my face was already beaming. Our lives were quiet and peaceful and happy, and we were both so sure that would all last forever. So why? Huh. I opened my hazy eyes to find myself back in a one-room cabin. I was sitting in a chair, my hands still tied behind my back. Apparently I had nodded off at some point. When I tried to stand up, a sudden wave of dizziness hit me and I nearly fell over. Thankfully, Gretel was there to catch me. Gretel. When I saw the concern in his eyes, I let out a sigh of relief and buried my face in his chest. Strange, isn't it? He was the one keeping me here against my will, and yet I trusted him completely. What is this? Is this entire route just going to be Stockholm Syndrome, but with siblings? In response, he wrapped his arms around me tightly. I was having this dream, a dream about the past. You know, the time I made green omelets for dinner? How long ago was that anyway? Try as I might, I couldn't remember more than that. Then Gretel drew his lips to my ear. He scooped me into his arms and carried me to the bed. Gretel. After he lowered me onto the bed, he started to stroke my hair. He was acting less like a brother and more like a boyfriend. Come on, don't you think you could untie me now? At my words, his hand fell still. His gentle gaze turned to eyes. Okay, but like, if you keep my hands tied up the entire time, the blood won't flow correctly, and that is very much not good. I won't go anywhere. We're out in the woods somewhere, right? And it's already dark out. I can't wander through a forest in the middle of the night. I hadn't checked outside the window, but the lights were on, so it had to be nighttime. Besides, I know you're only doing this to protect me, right? So why would I want to put myself at risk? I won't. Trust me. He didn't respond immediately, so I hastily continued. Besides, I really want to take a bath, you know, and I can't do that while my hands are tied up. What I meant was closer to powder my nose, but proper ladies never directly referenced the toilet. Ahem! What? I yapped in surprise. Wash your naked body myself. His words reverberated in my head. The instant it sank in, white-hot humiliation shot through me. What do you... Oh my god. What is this rude? What? This captor running his hands over his wet naked cat. That's so sexual. It's he only just turned 18. It's inappropriate. The usage of caps really makes this. Gretel smirked at me provocatively. No, I'm not. I denied it purely on reflex, but considering it was my own face, obviously I could tell it was true. Excuse me. Evidently, Gretel found my reaction hilarious because he burst out laughing, clutching his sides. Biting my lip, I glared back at the little punk. I knew it wouldn't be very intimidating given my flushed state, but I had to try. And when I realized it was hopeless, I gave up and rolled onto my other side away from him. Forget it. I admitted I was sulking. I do. The next thing I knew, he had untied my hands. Having regained total control of my limbs, the first thing I did was push myself into a sitting position. Then I touched a hand to my messy hair. Without my hands, I can't even comb my hair. I care! If you don't untangle your hair regularly, that can actually get real messy real fast. Well, with the kind of hair she has. At least. I interpreted this to mean that I wasn't going to have any visitors anytime soon. You'll see it though. I am so uncomfortable by the very basic setting of this route. Looking at Gretel's expression, I felt like he was testing me. Yeah, totally. Anyway, I'm gonna go take my bath now. Hi. Right as I hopped off the bed, he grabbed my arm. What? Why the fuck? Why? My voice went up an octave. Do I? Surprisingly enough, he had a valid point. I'm sure we'll be fine. A little struggle never hurt anybody. No, I couldn't possibly ask that of you. I desperately tried to recline, but his bright smile didn't waver. He yanked my arm and forced me back into the... There we go! Back to the bed! Gretel! I sat there staring back at him. My heart was pounding like crazy. These games are not rated 18. I can't play these on stream, right? I mean, they have... They have categories. Wait, maybe that's why this one doesn't have a category. Fuck. Maybe this one is rated higher than the others. Hold on. Ooh, this game deals with mature themes, including mental illness, self-harm, suicidal ideation, and sexual assault. Oh, okay. Aha. Okay. Well, it is apparently safe to play on stream, so we're just gonna continue. Wait. I scanned to see Plankton and under my scope. With no hesitation. His fingers brushed my skin through the fabric of my thighs and it tickled like crazy. I tried to push him away, but he pushed back and ended up flat on my back on the bed once more. Okay, she's just ticklish. Okay. Oof. Okay, she's just ticklish. I am running through every single emotion there is right now. Oh, and I forgot to read her text, But how on earth was I supposed to sit back and let him take my clothes off? I flailed around desperate to escape. Or maybe she's not just ticklish. As he spoke, he pinned my wrists together with one hand. Yeah, bye! Gretel, please. Breathing heavily, I looked up at him with damp eyes. I want out of this game right now. We're like an hour into his route and he's already dropped my single most hated line. Together with the all manner wolves thingy. Are you not literally having your way with me right now? Then he grabbed my waist and let out my biggest scream yet. I was so mortified, all I could do was nod vehemently and please just get this over with sort of way. Evidently he was having trouble because he promptly slid his other hand under my skin. I am deeply uncomfortable! I struggled not to make another sound. If anyone were to witness my brother fumbling around under his sister's skirt, it was all over for us. But to be clear, neither of us were getting off on this. We were just enjoying a pure, heartwarming brother-sister moment. Disregard the fact that the only sound was that of heavy breathing and a flood of clothes. It was a touching exchange in more ways than one. I regret having started with Gretel's root, Jesus Christ. With my tights off, Gretel's finger naturally brushed against my bare skin. That feeling was more raw and intense than it was through the fabric, and it gave me goosebumps. Ah! Be gone. Be gone, devil. What is this, a Harlequin novel? Gretel! Blushing bead red, I glared at him sharply. He lowered his gaze slightly and started to snicker. It's so weird to me. She should have run. Honestly, it feels a bit... like, even if she was tied up, she's not that weak, right? Catching his sides, Gretel laughed uncontrollably until there were tears in his eyes. The sight made me feel so utterly humiliated. This man was mocking me for my honest feelings. If anyone should have had tears in their eyes, it was me. You know, I could have just done that myself! He held them up between his thumb and forefinger like he was trying to rub them in my face. Gee, thanks. I snatched them away from him. I'm good! By this, what I meant was no thank you. I assure you I did not mean... This is torture in a completely different sense than Cinderella's monologues were. Because this is honest... because Cinderella's monologues were just long, you know. This is making me honestly uncomfortable. Instead, my jerk brother willfully misinterpreted me, then put his hands on my shoulders and flipped me over like a dead fish. I landed face first on the sheets and my back arched like an orca. Holding me down with one hand, he used the other to painstakingly loosen each of the ribbons on my oh, it's a corset. I can do it myself. As I flailed in protest, he climbed onto the bed and straddled me. I groaned beneath his added weight. In contrast to my misery, however, Gretel sounded downright cheerful. And then he set about removing my corset altogether. Having given up on resisting, I laid it perfectly still, like a salmon on ice at the grocery store. How you doing, Nui? Yeah, how are you? Just hurry up and strip me. Help. We are having very interesting and conflicting emotions at work right now. I flayed my one free arm. Bad touch, stranger danger. Yeah, it's not fun. Then I make funny faces at you. No. No. I went back to salmon mode. Humming to myself, he promptly went back to my clothes. Then the pressure against my waist disappeared and I knew he'd removed my corset. Next, he grabbed the zipper and pulled it down. Can you shut the If I don't get to strangle this guy at the end of this route, I'm going to be very upset. I buried my face in the sheets. I couldn't take any more teasing. This is beyond teasing. Fortunately, this seemed to work against him because he let out an annoyed sigh. Yeah, I noticed. Now get off me. You're crushing me, stupid. You were totally doing that on purpose. Then the added weight vanished and I let out a big sigh of relief. I clutched my dress to my chest so it wouldn't fall to the floor. At this point, if someone saw me with my messy hair and state of undress, I'd think something very differently happened on this bed. Touché. I'm just making sure, that's all. I never asked you for help. Thank you. My tone was so flat you could balance a cup of water on it. Ignoring my snickering brother, I headed for the bathroom. I turned back to find him smiling at me sternly. Huh? Oh, right. I hastily changed course. The bathroom featured a simple bathtub and a toilet. Honestly, I would have liked to take a long, luxurious soak, but I was in no position to complain. Additionally, there were no windows, just a small ventilation fan. No getting out through here, I take it. With that confirmed, I shut the door behind me and stripped off my dress. Since Gretel had removed my corset, why can I never... I should just choose one way to say it. It's probably the wrong way anyway. And unzipped the zipper. It slid off easily. I folded it up, then turned the bathtub faucet until warm water streamed out of the shower head. But just as I heaved a sigh of relief... The sun voice on the other side of the door made me yell. No, it's nothing. Don't you dare come in here. I turned the water off and concealed myself behind the curtain. Why do these people never have a towel in the who doesn't have a towel in the bathroom? Like, you don't shower and get out of the shower and get the water all over the place, right? Wouldn't you have a towel in the bathroom? So you don't get everything wet? The change of clothes, okay, you can get that later when you have the towel, but like, hello? I forgot about it too, actually. Unfortunately, I got the sense that this wasn't exactly an accidental oversight coming from him. Timidly, I asked him, did you do this to me on purpose? I barely suppressed the urge to punch the wall. Just leave them there. In front of the door? 違う 言いたかったのは leave them near the door. Why is she? The bathroom door! I could hear him laughing out there, and although I couldn't see him, I just knew he was clutching his sides again. I pressed my ear to the door and waited for Gretel to move away. Then I slowly opened the door and reached out through the crack, fumbling around for the towel and change of clothes. I still had the shower curtain pressed to my chest, but it could only stretch so far, and if you opened the door any wider, I was screwed. I'd probably lose my balance and fall to the floor butt naked. That would be one hell of a surprise for him. Aha! Found it! My brother loved his pranks, but he would never be outright cruel to me. As proof of that, I found a stack of fabric without much trouble. I yanked it back into the bathroom with me and let out a sigh of relief. But little did I know, 30 or so minutes from now, I'd be sighing for a different reason. I wonder what the change of clothes is! Ha ha ha. When I returned from the bathroom, Gretel took one look at me and burst out laughing. Rude. It's not like I chose to wear this, thank you very much. It was just the only option you gave me. I should have known Gretel wouldn't get me a change of clothes without some kind of catch. Kitty punch! I punched him with the white fluffy fists. My new outfit was, in a word, fuzzy. It featured a hood with pointed ears up top and long Oh! In other words, I was wearing kitty onesie. A kitty onesie. She's wearing a kitty onesie. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. A kitty onesie she's wearing. She says she's wearing kitty onesie.
Kitty. Kitty onesie. Kitty.
It's so big! Jesus Christ. A kitty onesie?
A kitty onesie. I'm also wearing a kitty onesie.
It's so big.
There we go. Here we go.
I'm also wearing a kitty onesie. I changed my mind. My brother's a cruel bastard. Mm-hmm. This was not at all that convincing, coming from a guy currently trying not to laugh.
いや、囚人服と迷ったんですけどね。さすがに姉さんとはいえ、一応女の人なわけですし、いくらなんでもかわいそうかなと思って。
Mm-hmm. Kitty punch! I gave him another fuzzy punch. After all, he made me picture myself in a stripy getup, and I came away relieved to be wearing a onesie instead. No one should feel relieved to wear a onesie, it's mortifying. What? They're cute though. Not that I would have preferred a see-through nightie either. Okay, true. No! Absolutely not. Double kitty punch! This time I hit him twice. On second thought, all hail the onesie. But I didn't let it show on my face. Instead, I casually pulled the hood over my hat. So you went out of your way to buy this? Oh, gee. Thanks. You monster. I see. Well, I must say I'm impressed you got me new underwear too. You must be pretty brave if you can walk up to the register with a pair of women's panties. Damn it, he countered my sarcasm with more sarcasm. Defeated, I slumped my shoulders. Then another question occurred to me. Wait, what do I do with my dirty clothes? Oh, okay. I nodded. At this, Gretel's eyes widened in surprise. He'd already stripped me down and made me wear the clothes and panties of his choosing, so I had no shame left. Or did I? Actually, on second thought, I washed them myself. I darted back into the bathroom and grabbed my dirty laundry. You might be used to it, but I'm not. How does that... what? Okay. I clutched my clothes to my chest. Do we even have a washing machine here? Oh, of course. But then I realized if I was forbidden from ever setting foot outside, then... Then he was never going to let me do my own laundry. Yeah! I checked my laundry into the bathtub and turned on the water. Forget the washing machine, I could just wash them by hand. I chuckled smugly. Then the smile vanished from my face as I asked, "Can I have some detergent?" After I finished washing my clothes, I walked over to the window and opened the curtains. It's pitch black outside! Woo! There was no clock in this cabin, so the only way to gauge the time of day was by looking out the window. Best I could tell, it was late at night. But the surrounding dense forest was already shadowy to begin with, so I could only get a vague estimate of the time. Thus I decided to ask someone who might have a better idea. Hey, what time is it?
So.
Huh? He shrugged his shoulders. Evidently he didn't care. Well, seeing as I'm tired, maybe it's bedtime. As I closed the curtains, Gretel paused to think. So, we'll also be sleeping in the same bed because there's only one bed in this thing? And that was that. Uh-huh. I see. But yeah, that is very much... That is very much almost the same thing. Almost the same fuzzy cat onesie. Wants to touch the button. No! Hands off. So there I was, lying in bed with my brother in a dark cabin. Great let his arms and leg wrapped tightly around me, locking me in place. Yeah! You need it! Wait. It's been a while since I posted it. It's been a while. DTT. I got this as a commission. Where is it? Twitter, where is it? It's not only my keyboard that's very loud, it's also my mouse that is very loud. Because why not, right? Where is it? Jesus. There it is. This one. Excellent. Was this his way of telling me that he had no intention of ever letting me go, whether he was awake or not? Or was he just using me as a soft, fuzzy pillow? How did he end up in this position, you ask? Well, the root problem was that there was only one bed in the cabin. Gretel. His eyes were firmly closed and his breathing was rhythmic, which suggested he was asleep. Then again, knowing his little prankster, it was possible he was simply waiting for me to lower my guard so he could go boo. Holy idea was even better. Yeah, I very much love the art. I love it. I kept watch over him for a while, but he showed no signs of stirring. With a sigh of relief, I let my gaze wander more closely over his face. With his eyes and mouth closed, my younger brother was actually quiet. Out of nowhere, my stomach growled loudly, breaking the silence. Quietly, I cursed myself for not eating more of Gretel's omelette while I had the chance. Sure, he was a bit of a brat, but he fed me, clothed me, and kept me locked up. Ultimately, I still had no idea why he had me imprisoned here. All I could tell was that he had good intentions. As a result, I wasn't afraid of him, and I still loved him. Are you sure about that? But nevertheless, these circumstances... My stomach growled again. No amount of sentimentality would pause my bodily functions. Ha! He's awake. Gretel shifted against me ever so slightly. Gretel, you're awake. Ma? I knew it. No idea what you're talking about. No, that's okay. Hassle or not, I didn't feel right eating a midnight snack, much less asking him to make it for me. Besides, I was the one who couldn't finish my food earlier, but as I thought back to dinner time, something else occurred to me. What about you, Gretel? You didn't eat dinner at all. Aren't you hungry? Hey. Kitty punch! Deserved. This time I hit him in the solar plexus at point blank range. Oh no, I'm so sorry. He glared back at me, tears welling in his eyes. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's deserved. Oh. As revenge, he clamped down on me like a vice until I smacked his leg to tap out. Once he loosened his grip, I immediately gasped for breath. Do you think maybe you could go easy on me from now on? But a punch to the solar plexus, point blank range, hurt. I mean, your idea of lenient is rather... No, I said wither, weather, feather, forever. Maybe not forever. Maybe forever is not what we should have said. When will I be free? It was a total nonsense conversation. Evidently Gretel was of the same opinion, because when our eyes met, we both burst out laughing. Times like these, it felt like nothing had changed between us at all. Like nothing had changed. Biting back a sigh, I nuzzled myself into his chest. Then I closed my eyes and plummeted into the darkness. How did the rest of the world view our brother-sister connection? Hold on a minute, I'm almost done. On fine morning, Gretel was breathing down my neck while I was boxing up our lunches. There, done. A perfect lunch if I do say so myself. Here you go. I handed one of the lunch boxes to Gretel. Then he looked at the other three sitting on a table. As if you don't work hard yourself. His lips curled in a playful smirk, but I knew the truth. I knew he had packed my book back for me. And he always offered to carry my things. Aw, thank you. Giddy nuzzled myself against his arm. No, don't. There was so much work. Together the two of us walked to school. Our town was a relatively famous tourist trap rich in a natural beauty like the forest and a lake. Near the lake was a large cluster of summer homes. It's all, every single CG is just flipped. It's making me... Main Street was a classy part of town, home to a lot of historical buildings and museums, not to mention souvenir shops and cafes targeting the tourists. That said, it was still a rural town, so I lacked the many attractions and modern conveniences of a more urban city. But as long as I had Gretel, I didn't need anything more. Oh yeah, so how's school? The question came to mind on a whim, so I voiced it. What does that mean? No more notice after waiting for the second game. I guess. I don't know how... you know, how much time passed between the first and the second. Me? Oh, you mean college? How's college? It's fun. Wow, who in their right mind says college is fun? Rolling his eyes, he shook his head. Rude, I have worries of my own, you know. I paused for a moment and answered, trying to figure out what my worries are. Oh, oops, excuse me. I'm not sure I like the way you put that. Hey! Implying you just said it flat out. As we approached Gretel's community college, the streets grew more populated with other students. Additionally, the students seemed to be sneaking furtive glances at us. No, not seemed to be, they definitely were. But this happened every time, so I was used to it. Because I'm so beautiful, you mean? I meant it as a joke, but Gretel fixed me with an icy stare. Then he let out a huge, exaggerated yawn. I don't really mind it personally. What about you? Well, who else? But just then... Whoa! A loud voice called out to us from behind. Oh, look at him! At least a few more CGs. The first many few more that everyone wanted. Yeah! Maybe we will have some more. But if it's all in the same town... Hey! Wolfie! Still lives. He wasn't there in Cinderella at all. I was like, hi, Guardian, how are you? How's reading? This is a flashback right now, but it turns out Gretel is apparently our brother and he has us locked up. In real time right now, but this is a flashback. I turned to find a guy wearing thick black rimmed glasses, a Wolfie hoodie, and big toothy grin. Not that this is his style or anything, because he was rocking it, but where on earth did he get that weird hoodie? Good morning, Wolfie. And Gretel, that I accidentally skipped out on. He clapped Gretel on the back. In contrast to Wolfie's high spirits, however, Gretel didn't even try to hide his displeasure. Oh, Wolfie's older than Gretel, huh? For the record, despite his boyish demeanor, Wolfie was actually in college with me. Consequently, he tried to treat Gretel like a little brother, but watching their antics, one would think they were peers. Grumpy Gretel. It had alliterative appeal and it was accurate. No. What? I flinched as he rounded on me next. He missed you.
アリスちゃんに聞いたら毎朝遠回りしてお前と一緒に登校してるって言うから邪魔してやろうと思って。へえ、そうですか。
He turned and glared at me with a look that said, "Don't give this idiot information he doesn't need." I averted my gaze and sighed. And with that, he stopped short and started to divvy up our belongings. Wait, what? But we're not at your school yet.
何が悲しくて、姉とその友人と一緒に同行しなくちゃならないんですか？恥ずかしい。はいこれ。あ、Thank you.
Wolfie enthusiastically held out both hands. With a cold, scornful glare, Gretel dropped the lunchbox on the ground. Hey!
俺のお弁当！すみません先輩。つい手が滑ってしまって。
すみません先輩。
You don't sound sorry at all. Playing the role of a clumsy younger student, he donned a guilty expression.
嘘だ。絶対わざとだろ。嫌だな。そんなこと先輩にするわけないじゃないですか。
Gretel smiled affably and patted Wolfie on the back. It was very condescending. Not that I had any right to criticize him myself.
はい、姉さん。
Thanks. For a second there I was worried he dropped mine too, but evidently not. He handed me my things, then turned and started
そ
walking.
れじゃあ、行ってきます。
Okay, I'll be waiting for you in the usual spot. I waved after him. Even after he stepped into the crowd of other students, I never lost sight of him, not once. Then I realized Wolfie was looking at me. When I tilted my head at him inquiringly, he smiled stiffly.
そんなにあいつが心配？
Yeah.
過保護っすね。
Is that a bad thing?
ダメじゃねえけど、もうちょっと気使った方がいいんじゃねえ？
Hello, I'm Helicopter Mom. Alice, 19 years old. I felt silent for a moment then asked, "You don't think I'm considerate enough?"
まあちょっと同じ学校ならともかくさあ。
So I should stop walking him to school for a while. Wolfie heard my voice deflate and hastily changed tack.
あ、いやごめん。肝心なのは俺や周りの意見じゃなくて、グレちゃんがどう思ってるかだからさ。
グレちゃん。
今度本人に直接聞いてみたらどうかなって思ったわけっすよ。
Right. I didn't want to inconvenience him after all. I smiled slightly. Maybe you should avoid walking to school with me too. They might spread rumors.
どんとこいっす。むしろ大歓迎。
Aw, thanks, Wolfie.
どういたしまして。
He was always a good friend to me. By the way...
なんすか？は、まさか、ようやく俺の
Okay, like, it seems that Wolfie's personality is still very much the same as it was in Red's Road. Oh, I've noticed something, alright. I glanced around. It felt like the people around us were snickering at us, or rather at Wolfie specifically.
なんすか？
He didn't seem to have noticed, however, so I gestured over his shoulder.
背中？
He reached behind him and retrieved a piece of paper that had been taped there.
なんだこれ。注意。
Aww.
バカでスケベな狼です。女の子は食べちゃうぞ。
Cool. Wolfie turned around after Gretel, but it was too late. He was already safely inside the school building. My little brother was a force to be reckoned with. When had he found the time to write that, and where did he get the tape? Well... Later that evening, as soon as I finished my classes for the day, I headed straight to Gretel's school. By now, classes had already ended for the day. I could spot students on the streets headed home. Arriving at the school gates, I walked over to a nearby pillar and leaned against it. I could hear the shouts of the sports teams and faint music from the brass band. Gretel was in his last year of community college, so he wasn't... College? Gretel is not in college yet. right? We're in college, but he's not. Oh, whatever. He wasn't part of any club, thus I could reliably expect him to leave campus relatively early. As the students passed through the gates, they all stared at the weird girl hanging around the school. That said, I was already on familiar terms with a lot of them, so I just smiled and waved. Smile and wave, boys! Smile and wave. This was just another part of my daily routine. But that day, Gretel didn't turn up at his usual time. He's really late. I glanced over at the school entrance again and again, but all the clubless students had already left by now, so the doors weren't opening. One of the boys' sports teams waved at me as they jogged laps around campus. I shot them a supportive thumbs up. Wait, Germany only has show by rogue mushroom and stars. I really know I can't get a license sometimes. That's weird. Oh, that's weird. Oh, thank you for the posture check and the hydrate. Ow! Jesus. Hydrate time. Yeah, I tried to sit up and my arm cracked. Made a cracking noise, that's why I said ow. Minutes passed, 10, 20, 30. Then as I started to contemplate what to make for dinner, a girl walked out through the gates, raised her hand to me in greeting, then hurried off. Do I know her? I waved back at her to be polite, but I didn't recognize her face. Puzzled, I tilted my head, but just then a voice called out to me from behind. Instantly my face brightened up at the familiar voice, but I restrained myself to a small smile as I turned back, my skirt fluttering with emotion. Hi Gretel, don't worry, I wasn't waiting long. I looked up at him, batting my lashes like a magazine model as I replied with the most cliché stock answer known to mankind. Why did it take you so long, huh? And he blew me off completely. Hey, wait. Why is he being so salty with me? That reminds me, Wolfie was really upset about what he did this morning. He was like, he ruined my hot guy rap, dude. I'll never forgive him for this. I did my best Wolfie impression. I thought back to the contents of his message. I mean, yeah, he is pretty horny. I was trying to stand up for him, but instead I ended up validating Gretel's insults. I can practically hear him shrieking, dude, you're such a jerk. Sorry, Wolfie. If his attitude toward me was salty, then his attitude toward Wolfie was rock salty. As my heart quietly went out to Wolfie, my eyes met Gretel's. Then he came to a stop, so I followed suit. What's up? The setting sun illuminated his face, softening his expression. Yeah, it's actually quite blinding. Because the sun in the back is almost like the same shade that his skin is. It's very bright on my screen. He seemed to have something on his mind. After a pause, he opened his mouth to speak. Okay. What? I was caught completely off guard. The look on his face was so serious, and I would have imagined he was about to insult me. The fuck? He smiled as though a weight had been lifted from his shoulders, but I was still at a loss. Dude, you're such a jerk! Not funny, Gretel. On our way home, I tried to find out what it was that inspired him to call me a ditzy dumbass, but he stubbornly refused to tell me. Nanne? Nanne? We're home! Not that anyone is home who could answer us, but tadaima! Okaeri. Upon arriving home, I went straight to the kitchen and pulled on my apron. Closing my eyes, I took a deep breath. I will not be doing that. I will not be screaming, but just imagine her screaming. Then opened my eyes and slammed the rock salt as hard as I could. Phew! The pink crystal broke into small pieces. From there I would grind it into a powder with a hammer. Yes, I was using rock salt as an ingredient in tonight's dinner. What was that all about anyway? I wasn't the kind of girl who got off on insults. Instead, I dug through the day's events to investigate the cause. As I recall, we'd been discussing Wolfie right beforehand. Could that have anything to do with it? And if so, was it purely because Gretel despised Wolfie from the bottom of his heart, or maybe he's totally jealous of him?
Nia nia.
Yeah. Just then the sudden voice behind me made me slam the rock solid in surprise. Oh, I could hurt you. Or maybe you could stop sneaking up on me like that. Recoiling, Gretel indicated the hammer I was holding aloft. Oh, right, sorry. I snapped back to my senses and put the hammer on the counter. So, weren't you supposed to be studying? Oh, you randomly decided, just randomly. This is some sixth sense crap. Did you hear what I was saying? What? No, I said, I've got lint in my belly button. That probably works out better in Japanese. Ouch! With a glare, he karate chopped me on the head. Sorry, it just slipped out. As I clutched my hat, Gretel put his hands on his hips and shook his head. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Huh? At this, Gretel's expression shifted to an unspoken "oh crap," so I pounced. Sorry, I missed it. Could you repeat that? Because I didn't hear you the first time. Yep, I'm a creep. Now come on. Moichido. As I pestered him, Gretel finally snapped. Fuck you. Oh, I see, I get it now. Yeah, I'm a girl. I'm a girl, you know. A girl like me ought to think before she speaks. He didn't normally acknowledge my gender at all, so it tickled me. In contrast to my amusement, however, Gretel looked furious. He was very clearly trying to change the subject. Don't worry, little bro. I'll take the bait for you. Yeah, it is. Not at all. What are you making this time? Ooh. Wait, isn't rock salt ice cream the thing they have in Kingdom Hearts? The blue ice cream? Is that rock salt ice cream? But it's winter. Yeah, he said that in Cinderella's route as well. I want some too. I raised my hand eagerly. Okay, I'm stressed. Huh? I didn't know you ever got stressed out. Ooh. He balled his hand into a fist. But I'm a girl. I raised both hands in surrender. Then out of nowhere, his expression turned deadly serious. My heart skipped a beat. Yeah, that... Yeah? Huh? Yeah, sure. What the fuck do you want? Yoshi! Just then, who should cut into the conversation but my lollipop-loving older brother? Oh! One of you guys is not her actual brother, isn't it? Isn't it? So we're getting all the characters that were, you know, in Red's route back this time, I guess, because neither Wolfie nor Ryoshi, or like the huntsman, ever showed up in Cinderella, but they're definitely showing up now. So what's that about? He set a now empty lunchbox on top of my head. I grabbed it and looked up at him. What are you doing here? Is it? I mean, yeah, but you never come over. Supposedly our house was too far from his workplace, so Ryoshi rented his own place to save on commute time. Everyone is our brother. You get to be my brother, and you get to be my brother. There's nothing to check. We're fine. He smacked me over the head. Then he pulled the lollipop out of his mouth and looked at Gretel, who had yet to say a word. Oh. Gretel never addressed my brother by name, only his title. End of conversation. Hastily I cut in to break up the awkward tension. Ryoshi, why don't you spend the night tonight? We can have whatever you want for dinner. And with that, Gretel left the room as though he couldn't bear to stay there sing a moment longer. Hey, wait! Before I could chase after him, however, Ryoshi stopped me. What? Huh? Excuse me? I responded in a flat, icy voice. He was talking about Gretel as if he was some dangerous criminal. Ryoshi narrowed his eyes and pointed his lollipop in my face. Okay, well, I guess that at least gets the incest out of the root or something. So is he adopted or what? Later at dinner, normally Gretel and I would be having a fun time eating and chatting right about now, but tonight was very different. Oh. It was quiet, unnaturally quiet. The slightest clink of the silverware grated on me. Both of them ate my tomato simmered chicken, rock salt soup, and rock salt salad in total silence. So, how's the food? Unable to take the awkwardness any longer, I spoke in my most cheerful voice. Damn! Silence. I tried to play mediator, but my attempt went completely ignored. If only Wolfie were here. With his aggressive optimism, surely the two of us could get the ball rolling. But alas. If I can't count on my teammates, then I'll just have to score a goal myself. Clearly, my mistake was that I had framed it as an open question. This time I decided I would tailor my questions to each person. If that didn't work well, I'd probably be devastated, honestly. How are things going lately, Yoshi? You know what I mean. What's new with you? Your health, your job, your love life, anything. Still a playboy in this room? Perfect. Now I just need to keep the conversation going. That reminds me, you're always making girls cry, aren't you? Why, just the other day we had some haughty lady storm in and demand to see you, right, Gretel? A new topic of conversation, my brother's womanizing ways. Surely we could find some common ground to have a fun moment together. God fucking damn it. Gretel stared blankly back. You don't? I looked at Yoshi. He glared back with a look that said, keep your mouth shut. Sorry, guess you weren't there. My plan had completely backfired. Instead of softening your tension, I added to it. I think this is what they call a self-own. But I'm not giving up yet. Gretel, are you still planning to make rock salt ice cream after this? Can I help? This time I addressed Gretel. Okay. In an instant, my one ray of hope was snuffed out. Aw. I go on sadly. At this, Gretel stopped eating and frowned at me, conflicted. Now this was an unusual reaction. Then Yoshi spoke and Gretel's expression closed off altogether. His voice was cold and hard. Damn. He rose from his seat. I wash your plate for you, okay? And so after rinsing his dirty dishes, he left the room. Once the door closed behind him, I hissed at Yoshi. This is all your fault. He scolded me in annoyance. Your attitude makes Gretel feel uncomfortable. The thing is though, In Red's route, Yoshi turned out to be a pretty good guy. So I am trusting him. I would trust him more right now, honestly. Like, he gets bad vibes from Gretel, and like, we started this route and we are stuck, tied up, unable to escape, and with Gretel. So like, I trust Yoshi right now that maybe he was very much right about it. Then be nicer to him. He rose to his feet. And with that, he walked out. Alone, I ate the rest of my soup in silence. Damn, that's a depressing dinner. With his blessing, I opened the door and entered Gretel's room. All the while, I kept my surprise hidden behind my bag. Gretel, how's studying going? Making any progress? He didn't look up from his desk. Am I interrupting? I can come back later if you want. Then finally he turned to look at me. Cat's out of the bag, huh? As I fidgeted with excitement, he beckoned to me. Happily, I hurried over and showed him what I was hiding. Hehe, ta-da! I made you some rock salt cookies. Well, we were going to make rock salt ice cream, but then you ran off back here to study. So since you're being such a hard worker, I thought I'd reward you with a treat. A sweet scent filled the room as I opened a jar of cookies. I felt around for one that was still warm, then pulled it out and held it up to his mouth. Say ah. He hesitated for a moment, but ultimately caved to the bewitching power of sweets. I pushed a cookie into his mouth, and he started to chew slowly. A rock salt cookie. Once I saw him swallow, I asked, was it good? Eh? Well, that's better than a 0. Not by much, but oh well. Okay, okay. You are serious about your sweets. I'm so sorry I even tried. Okay. Guess we're never making cookies again. And so Gretel went on a long run. He was that serious too. He was making eye contact the entire time. Oh. This point promotion almost got me excited, but then I realized it wasn't much of an improvement. I'll take your feedback into consideration for next time. Huh? Why not? I was expecting him to say please do, so this caught me off guard. His voice faltered. Then as I stared at him in confusion, he suddenly snatched a jar of cookies out of my hands. Hey! Him who? He didn't respond, which meant he was probably talking about Yoshi. No, silly, I made these specifically for you. Smiling to himself slightly, he pulled out another cookie and shoved it into his mouth. Evidently, he was planning to eat them despite their poor quality. Do you not like Yoshi? He froze. Hmm? Huh? Yeah, maybe. What about it? I knew he was changing the subject, but I went with it anyway. Oh, okay. Keep the compliments coming. Whoa, what's going on? This is uncharacteristically nice of you. Are you really craving cookies or something, or has all that studying made you delirious? I pressed my palm to his forehead, but he smacked it away. Oh, okay. Thanks. If these were honest compliments, then they deserved an honest thank you. Yeah, I guess. He pursed his lips bitterly. No attempt was made to conceal the displeasure on his face. Okay. Are you saying I should keep my mouth shut? See, so the more I talk, the less anyone likes me. The panic in my voice brought me to my senses. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I stared into space, defeated as my last ray of hope was promptly dashed. Ah, is that why he was late? Confessed what? Oh, cool. My voice came out flatter than I was expecting. In terms of romantic interest, Gretel probably received quite a lot himself since he had such a cute face. Wait, is that why you were late leaving school today? I thought back to the girl who had passed through the gates just before Gretel. Was that her? Well, go date her then? It sounded an awful lot like he was implying I was ugly, loud and annoying and not worth protecting at all. 1 minute I was on cloud 9 from all his compliments and now this. He was knocking me around like a ping pong ball. What? You did? How come? My pitch spiked to match my mood. Well, okay. My gaze drifted to the jar of amateur cookies in his hands. Aha. Wait, so you turned her down because she doesn't measure up compared to me. It felt incredibly arrogant to say out loud, but I wanted to make sure I was understanding him correctly. At this, Gretel rose to his feet and pinched my nose. Gretel. Never had I felt so happy to be insulted. If this was what it meant to be a dumpist, then so be it. I am... what? No. I could feel someone shaking me, but my drowsiness was stronger, keeping my eyelids firmly closed. My would-be arouser fell silent, suggesting that he had given up. Thus I was now free to sleep as much as I wanted. Oh, what? If you don't wake up, I'm going to pull a prank on you. The sudden whisper in my ear made me bolt upright in bed. No. Morning, Gretel. When I opened my lean eyes, I found Gretel smiling amiably at me. Hard to say. My head was fuzzy, probably because I'd only just woken up. In fact, if I wasn't careful, I might just drift off again. Nyam nyam nyam. We kitty cats are certified nap experts. Experts! Please don't. Good morning, Gretel! What fine weather we are having! This time I snapped awake completely. He promptly handed me a washcloth and a change of clothes. Okay. Biting back a yawn, I headed for the bathroom. Okay. Every time someone mentions yawning, I have to yawn. As much as I wanted to ignore Gretel's pranks, I was on his home turf, so to speak. We were alone together and he was my captor. As my captor, he was also functionally my supervisor and manager. After all, he was in charge of my meals, clothing, baths, everything. And so I had no choice but to follow the path he laid out for me each and every day. Gretel, can we talk? What on earth am I wearing? The outfit Gretel had prepared for me was a cross between a kimono and an apron. Wait, do I have anything like that? Hold on. I do have a kimono though. Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, but the bottom half was a miniskirt with frilly lace trim. It was adorable. Okay, I don't have that. I doubt you would yawn every time someone mentions yawning in chat. I would. If I read it. If I read about yawning, I inevitably have to yawn. And if I say it myself, it's the same thing. Sorry about that. But coming from my little brother. Huh? You think so? I wasn't exactly excited to wear a peanut photo, but hearing that I look cute made me happy. Thanks, bro. I regret ever trusting you. So, did he like, you know, lock us up and is trying to make us into his perfect girl? Because the only thing he says we're missing is that we don't shut up. That's fucked up. What for? Gretel's smile was as radiant in the morning as the morning sun. I braced myself. The music says otherwise. Has he ever once said that and actually meant it? I don't think so. As I squinted dubiously at him, he quickly lost his patience. Seizing me by the arm, he yanked me closer to him. He placed something on my head. What is it? I put a hand to my head and felt something crumpled. Ah. Could we actually redeem a free yawn here? Yes, you could. But I don't want to spend an entire stream just yawning. Oh my god. Why would you do this to me? Is this what you're into? Gretel, maids. Wait, I can provide maids. Here we go. Even with the frilly headband. Hmm?
僕がこういうのが趣味だって言ったらずっとこの格好でいてくれるんですか？だったら何度でも言ってあげますよ。僕は和風メイドの女の子が大好きです。ぶっちゃけ萌え萌えです。
You utterly incorrigible master. He was going to tease me, then I was going to tease him right back.
はい、よくできました。
He patted me on the head as if to reward me. More than an older sister, more than a maid, I felt like his pet.
さてと、そろそろ僕は行きますね。
Where? He grabbed his book bag off the chair. Going where?
学校ですよ。
Oh, so you get to go to school. What about me? School? School? He was so casual about it, I failed to react for a
当
second.
然でしょ。こう見えて僕は受験生ですよ。
The fuck? Well, sorry for thinking you were too busy kidnapping your sister to go to school. Don't you roll your eyes at me, mister. Then I want to go with you.
ああ、姉さんはいいんです。ここで留守番しててください。
Is no one wondering about where I am? Will you stay and watch the house? Unfortunately, we have to say yes.
大丈夫です。すぐに帰ってきますので。
He brushed me off with a sunny smile.
朝ごはんは用意しておいたので食べてくださいね。
He indicated the kitchen. I looked over then while I was distracted. Gretel grabbed me by the arm. What?
そういえば手を縛らなきゃなと思って。
Ah, he was thinking we could be safe. He spoke with the offhanded tone of someone who forgot to turn the oven off. I can't eat breakfast with my hands tied. I tried to shake him off, but he was stronger and he swiftly tied my wrists together. Nevertheless, I flailed even harder and he pinned me to the floor.
大丈夫ですよ。ほら、爪楊枝取りのように腰を折って食べればいいじゃないで
Yeah,
すか。
that's not humiliating at all.
髪がつかないようにあらかじめまとめておきますから。
You know, it would be a lot less hassle for both of us if you would just not tie me up in the first place. I was starting to get legitimately angry at his flagrant disregard for my human rights. You're starting to piss me off, you know. Once he finished tying my hands and hair, he rose to his feet as if nothing had happened. Oh, so it's my fault now, huh? I glared up at him from the floor. He crouched down to meet my gaze once more. Then he cupped my chin in his hand, tilted my face up and whispered sweetly. Well, I don't have a choice, do I? Screaming, I threw a kick at the door. Sure, my skirt flew up, and it wasn't very ladylike, but I didn't care. Not like anyone could see me right now. Unfortunately, the door didn't budge. Meanwhile, I was nearly in tears from the pain in my foot. Guess I can't kick it down. I leaned back against the wall and slid down to a sitting position. Then once I calmed down, I started to think. From the sounds of it, it would appear that the door had two locks, one on the inside and one on the outside. It made sense, of course. What kind of crappy house would this be if it couldn't be locked from the inside? And since he wanted to keep me inside at all costs, it would make sense for him to invest in a padlock or something similar that could only be unlocked from the outside. Sure, the door was only made of wood, but there was no way I could kick it down by myself. Based on these factors, I concluded I wasn't getting out through the main exit anytime soon. Not that I need to destroy the door. If I could get my hands free, I could just open the window. For the record, my wrists were tied with cloth, so I could probably free myself if I really wanted to, but no matter how easy it was to get untied, it would be nearly impossible to tie myself back up. I don't even know what I would do once I got out. I didn't know precisely where this cabin was located beyond in a forest, but Gretel couldn't drive a car, nor could he have carried me very far on foot without assistance, so I had a reasonably good idea of where I was. After all, our town was known for its summer homes, many of which were cute little cottages in the forest. But I still didn't understand the most important part, Gretel's motive. Why would he go to all the trouble of locking me up in here? He said it was to protect me, but from what? How did he arrive at this idea? No guarantee he'll ever actually tell me. Next, I reflected on Gretel's behavior. Sure, he liked to mess around with me, but would he really seek out an empty cabin, make it fit to inhabit, and buy me new clothes, all as a joke? I sincerely doubted it. Anyway, I'm hungry. I looked at the bread sitting on a kitchen counter, cut neatly into bite-sized pieces. Beside it was a cup of what I assumed to be hot chocolate, though it had long since gone cold. My stomach had been growling like crazy for a while now, but I was not a pet, and as such I refused to eat the food he left out for me. Oops. He could bully me and dress me up in whatever costume he wanted, but I still had my dignity. My pride, if you will. Guess I'll sleep until Gretel gets back. I could avoid looking at the food, but my brain still knew it was there. Thus my only option was to shut myself down. Then when Gretel got home, I could make him feed me something, or so I thought, but just then... I heard a knock and turned in the direction of the sound. What? I jumped to my feet. Who's there? Ah! Look at that! The wizard! That I do not trust for even a second. A man was standing outside the window. But this wasn't just any ordinary man. He was wearing a pointed hat and cape with a black cat on his shoulder. Weirdo alert! I didn't say it out loud, right? The weirdo grinned at me. Huh? He spoke as though he already knew everything about me and my current circumstances. I rushed over to the window. Do you know my brother Gretel? Then do you know who I am? Do you know why we're out here? Will you tell me? He smirked at me knowingly. At this I stopped to think. Who was this man? Was he lying or telling the truth? Whose side was he on? Was this the right move to make? In the end I decided... I'm sorry. As much as I want to know, I can't ask you. Not right now.
それはなぜ？
I don't know you, but I can tell that you're probably telling the truth when you say you know about me and Gretel. However, you're not the one who trapped me in here. Gretel is.
なるほど。つまり本人の口から直接聞きたいということだね。
Yeah, sorry to change my mind on you like that.
別にいいよ。だって僕も彼がどういう理由で君を閉じ込めようとしたのかまでは知らないし。
What? Defeated, I slumped my forehead against the window pane. The loud noise startled the wizard's cat, who bolted. You just said you know everything.
僕も万能じゃないからな。
He laughed and shrugged. So you were just screwing with me?
まさか。ただ僕は僕で制限があるんだよ。万能そうに見えて意外と融通が利かないんだ。
Yeah, I feel like he operates outside of whatever these funny words we're in are like. His word choice caught my attention and I narrowed my eyes. Is that because you're Gretel's accomplice?
さあ。
He smiled without batting a lash.
僕が知っているのは大まかな流れと目指す結末だけ。
The plot outlined and the desired ending.
まあ知ってるけど
What does that
知らな
mean?
いこともあるというか。
All I could deduce from this was that there wasn't necessarily any confirmation he was Gretel's accomplice.
君が望むならここから出してあげることもできるよ。でも君はそれを望んでいないんでしょ？
It's not that I want to stay here, but I hold off for now.
なら今の僕にできることはない。残念だけど。
Okay. He shrugged sadly. That's demonstrably false, actually.
Eh?
He stared at me, his eyes as round as saucers. You think there's nothing you can do for me? Well, I disagree. We're having a conversation, aren't we? As he blinked in surprise, I smirked mischievously at him. Would you chat with me for a while, Mr. Wizard? I'm really bored in here. For a moment he froze, his brown eyes fixed on mine, then he grinned.
いいよ。君が何を考えているのかよくわからないけど。
Yay!
君が望
At
むなら
least we get to talk to someone.
いつだって君の暇つぶしに付き合ってあげよう。
Thank you. Let me go get a chair. But right as I stepped away from the window, a familiar sound caught my attention. It was my stomach reminding me that I was still human.
お腹空いたの？
Oh god, you heard it?
そっか。お腹空いてる
Hi
んだね
there, time. Okay.
I mean, there is food here technically. Slumping my shoulders, I glanced at the kitchen.
なら食べればいいじゃないか。
Because the only way I could eat it is very humiliating. I would accept there's one little problem. I turned my back to him and hopped up and down to bring my bound wrists into view.
猫みたいに？
What is it with these people? I would have been tearing my hair out right about now, but I couldn't use my hands, so instead I jumped up and down in frustration.
じゃあ僕が食べさせてあげようか。
Huh? What do you mean, huh? You heard the man, it's breakfast time.
ヒロインちゃん。
Why the fuck is
口
it?
開けて。はい。
I sat in my chair and still bound as the wizard fed me my toast. It's so good. The bread in question was a small brötchen. What? Brötchen? Brötchen breakfast roll baked by Gretel himself. What? It's missing. It's missing. It's not an umlaut. Brötchen. Ein Brötchen. Bread roll, huh? Normally I would have liked to slather it in butter and jam or even make a ham and cheese sandwich out of it, but this would have to do. Sure, it was plain bread, but it was still delicious by itself.
もっといる？
Yes, please. At my request, the wizard grabbed another bite-sized piece of Brötchen and held it up to my mouth so I could bite it. So much nice thing happening since someone stuffed it into my mouth without asking.
なんだか餌付けしてるみたいだな。
I stomped my foot in protest. So how did you get in here so easily? You know, all the locks on the door?
Posture check.
Seriously, the dude practically waltzed in here. After he offered to assist me, I was like, how? And he was like this, and the door swung open. And since I didn't hear him unlock anything, it kinda left me with a lot of unanswered questions.
魔法使いだし。
Okay then. He gave me one of his non-answers and I shrugged it off. Conversation over. That said, if he didn't want to reveal his secrets, then I couldn't exactly force him. No sense in pressing further, for now, anyway. Anyway, I wonder how Gretel would feel if he knew about us doing this. You know, having a visibly shady stranger feed me bread while I'm tied up. Same difference, really. The wizard laughed cheerfully. I couldn't really get a read on him. You know, you could have just untied me so I could eat and tied me back up after. It's pretty different to me. Then the wizard looked up suddenly. What is it? Oh. You should get out of here then. Huh? This question made me pause. I had only just wondered how Gretel would react if he saw us. Was I about to find out? Sorry, but you gotta go. For some reason the word infidelity came to mind.
Hi.
Why? With a light-hearted wave he headed for the door. And be sure to lock it behind you. There's a lot more I want to say to you, but I limit myself to just one last thing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
He opened the door and I caught a tiny glimpse of the world beyond. Wait, before you go. I stopped him one last time. He looked back over his shoulder at me. I hesitated for a moment and asked, will I see you again? See you. As requested, he locked the door from the outside before he left. Once our lock was in place, I managed to lock it from the inside too. What a strange man. I let out a breath and sat down on the spot. Everything about him was a total mystery, but I couldn't sense any ill will toward me. That said, if he was able to bypass Gretel's security system, then chances were good he was in on the scheme. Just then I sensed someone on the other side of the door, so I rose to my feet. I heard the sound of the door unlocking and then it opened. There he fucking is! But you know what? I'll take that as a chance to stop here. Now that he's back. Because I was thinking like, okay, if the wizard is here for a while longer, like I will stop when he leaves. Because whatever happens now is probably going to take another long while. Well, at least I'm imagining it would. Nope, I don't want the thing to play. Aha, we cannot look at CGs or anything yet. Memories are not yet unlocked because we haven't finished a full route. Interesting. I'm a little on the fence about this game. Like, it is a bit different to, you know, the first one. Like, this one is very Like, what kind of game opens up with a, okay, hi, I have taken you hostage. You are now a hostage. Enjoy. Who does that? Who does that? But I'll take it, I guess. I'll take it. But it is a little, just a little weird. Well, yeah. This is Taisho Alice episode 2. Let's just shoot a story. Man. I don't know. I don't know. But from everything that spoiler-free reviews were saying, it was like, okay, if you're looking for romance, I think this one has the least romantic out of it, or healthy romance in it. So we will see about that. I'm just looking at the different. You know what's funny though? except for like a few, pretty much all of the options you have in his route are just yes and no. It's literally like, what we've had so far was like, okay, the thingy, who do you swear to Gretel? And then yes, it's fun. And then the next 3 choices are yes, yes, yes. Then 2 times no. Then a few that are a little different. And then it's again, yes, yes. A few normal ones, yes, yes, no. The other route isn't going to be much nicer. Kaguya has 14 bad endings. Kaguya has 14 bad endings, and all I've seen people say is like, oh, you shouldn't play his route without a guide, otherwise you will probably not get a good ending. So I really doubt it's going to be much nicer. Oh yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out. Higo Yanner, what? I wouldn't be surprised. I would also not be surprised if Gretel is the one who does it. Like, both of them very much look like they could go that way. I'm ready for the mega happy ending. Well, I mean, we only get the happy and good endings because I will not be doing the bad endings on stream. So Kaguya's route will probably be, you know, kind of short-ish on stream. But I'll have to read them myself then. So that's going to be fun. But here we go. That's the right... No, wait. I did it the wrong way again. This one. This way. But yeah. Use the right message. We're going to raid V. V is playing Yakuza 0. Which means I cannot... Yonray! Which means I cannot look at much of it because I still want to play these games myself. But... You know, we love V. V is very nice. I'm just gonna quickly change this screen and then forget to have everything ready. Haha, so I can play the song. Hahaha. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you had fun with this interesting experience so far. We will continue this game on Sunday. Friday will be Atelier Totori. And if I get it to work and if it actually releases tomorrow, it's going to be Atelier Online. I'm still not completely, you know, I don't trust them to actually release the game, but apparently it's coming out tomorrow, so we'll see about that. I will tweet about it. But for now, very good night. Thank you so much for coming, and bye bye.